Thank you very much. My name is Pindeus, and I'd like to talk to you today about this powerful combination of computer vision and behavioral psychology, what we call Behaviour AI. And it's all about teaching machines to actually understand what they see. So what is computer vision? I mean, there's definitions, but in its essence, it's extracting insights from visual data to derive meaningful information from it. Images, videos, other visual inputs. And then it's all about taking actions that are based on that information. And it's very, very different from language processing. If you think about this massive road-crossing street that's, well, it looks like a parking lot, it really isn't, but it's a mess, right? It's a massive junction. If you were to describe this in words, it would be, is this an aerial view of a busy intersection with heavy traffic, maybe define the colors of the vehicles, etc. Language has its limitations. If we look at this image, there's a lot of insight that we can derive, there's a lot of insight that we can actually teach a machine or teach an AI system compared to writing of written description. So again, here, we look at visual data and the imagery. We see men, well, sprinting more than running. Safe, maybe not safe. Well, then we look further. There's situational context. Oh, actually, that's a highway. The place, the activity, the context in which human action actually is derived from. And that allows us to then define, oh, that's a man running across the highway at dusk. Definitely not safe. Absolutely not. And all of this insight and information we can derive from an image. We can derive from a sequence of images. Think about how it would be to describe that in words. So it's all about not being limited by language. By teaching machines to see, to understand what they see, and a way that is multi-regional, global, can be adapted to a variety of contexts. So a dog, we could argue a dog in Asia, in the US, and the UK look probably quite similar. If you were to describe dogs in different regions, in different languages, very, very difficult to transfer and translate. So computer vision is not limited by language. Allows us to expand, allows us to take context in, adapt to the human context. And that's what we call Behaviour AI. An AI system that directly interacts with people, or it needs the human understanding of behavior in order to take a decision, in order to make an interpretation, in order to make a recommendation. So it's all about assisting, it's all about enhancing. So if we think about machines that directly interact with people, this could be a traffic light, this could be a self-driving vehicle, this could be an augmented reality goggle. It's all about fully automated machines that need interpretation for decision-making in order to either warn people or recommend a certain action. Or we look at offline, looking at human behavior, behavioral patterns over time. Streaming, what is the camera seeing? How many people that cross the road, how the flow of people in stadiums or in urban environments? Is it a motorcyclist, a cyclist? What is the road user? So a lot of insight that can be derived from there to take offline recommendations. So the essence here is about human centricity. If we look at natural language processing, ChatGPT and so on, a lot of it is about what can a machine read, comprehend, and create a human-like response, essentially mimic. But if we look at human centricity and look at the visual aspect, it's more about what can a machine see, extract, understand, in order to create an experience around people, and not trying to recreate, not trying to mimic. And the essence here is that it really is about thinking of the stakeholder, of the user, of the person as the recipient of a certain action, service, interaction. Enhancing everyday life, creating a user experience. A lot of it is about user experiences. Applying automation, applying machine vision, in order to create an experience that actually is just the right amount, is actually helpful, whether you're on the street, whether in your car, whether in your work, etc. And creating layers and guards of safety in terms of how the data is trained, the bias that is prevented, but also the application that it's used. If you take the human at its core, human centricity, you will always try to create something that's actually good for you, for us. So if you think about it, behavioral AI, behavior interpretation and prediction from any camera or from any video feed, and with that, systems that actually truly assistive and can make us better, faster, and would actually respond to people. Think of it as a new pair of eyes that actually works for you. How much more efficient and faster could we be? Applications for this, well, they're really applicable wherever there's people, where there's a machine, which is everywhere these days, whether we realize it or not. Understanding traffic flows, helping urban planning, helping smart parking, helping safety around intersections, looking at fulfillment centers and factories, understanding what is a likely risk, safety risk, trip slips and falls, operational efficiency, but also just the understanding and the experience for the worker in a factory environment as they interact with machines every day, all the time. Think of us encountering machines every time we step on the street, cars. A machine that can actually predict the intention to cross or not to cross, whether there's a likely risk, whether there's different road users, a cyclist, a scooterist, a skateboardist, and so on. The list goes on, and actually adapts to us instead of creating a risky environment for us as people, road users. If your thing is engagement, social interactions, it's not about understanding emotions, so very different from emotion AI, but it's actually about taking certain landmarks of people, understanding and inferring the social interaction in order to actually be able to understand, is someone engaged, is someone enjoying, someone aroused, to be able to test new products, test games, but also create a customized experience that people want. Same applicable to the workplace, same applicable to video conferencing, creating a service that's actually enhancing, helping, and making us more productive. And this can even be taken to human experiences in simulated verse, intersection between physical and digital, and the metaverse, as machine-human collaboration and interaction heavily accelerates. But of course, there's limitations as well. When working with vision, when working with cameras, you need to understand limitations of cameras, limitations of occlusions, limitations of what the machine can see, just like what we can see or we cannot see. The size of behavior, how detailed do we go, or how detailed do we want to go of analyzing people's actions and behaviors? A very conscious choice. And then, of course, the labeling of complex behavioral state is no easy feat. It's not trivial to interpret, to predict something that is not observable, that is inferable, computing things that we do in our mind all the time. Very difficult for machines. And then comes the creative responsibility. These are all incredibly powerful tools and can do a lot of good, but can also be misused. And I think it's really important as creators of artificial intelligence systems to really look at a few key guidelines. First of all, how is AI built? What's behind that black box that takes this decision? Create something that is, as opposite a white box approach, that is modular, that is explainable, that is interpretable, where you can actually understand the decision-making of an AI system, and with that creates trust with us people, the recipients, trust with consumers, trust with customers. It's really creating a mutual understanding about how AI is used. Ethical, privacy safe. Another one, you don't really need facial recognition for most things. Some companies do it, of course. You can monetize it, but you don't need it. So what is it that you need to infer and to create in order to create a good user experience? That is privacy safe, that is compliant with regulations. It's often not creating a conscious decision and really choosing limitations for the system. Very, very important as well, to create trust and to promote ethics. And then it's, of course, also about the risk index, understanding where risky applications, which applications should be taken and which ones should not be taken, making sure that regulation is actually promoted and catches up, incredibly important in today's AI space, that organizations, us as creators of artificial intelligence, are actually accountable, have a framework that is shareable, it is shared across industry, and with that promote visual AI, behavior AI for good. Because remember, it's always about looking at us as individuals, as people, as a society, and we think, create what sort of experience would I actually want to have? And that's really the key question. as we start applying, as we start developing and actually deploying artificial intelligence systems. Thank you very much. This is the end of my presentation.